All right, so today I'm gonna do my best. First of all, thanks for coming to the channel. This is Jamal Lewis. Whyou? You don't have to be a guru, but with this, you're gonna have a genuine understanding of the real you, and we plan to do it by looking at numbers. And so, here's the first number that we can look at. That is life path number 1. Right now, life path number 1. Put the halo on them. I mean, they're the sun. That's the crown king. We are number 1. We are the champions, my friend. Okay. So anyway, but life path number 1 is kind of like that. They're the sun. Everyone else is the audience, or the planets in the planetary system. Life path number 1 is the life path that is most likely to become number 1, outside of 8, but they're the ones to become number 1, to fight to be number 1, to strive to be number 1. They have an innate desire to be number 1, more so than any other number. If you think of the sun, you think of a number 1. You think of the father, I am the father. This is my family. Yes, welcome to my home. This is the one. Or you think of the kingdom. See, all the ones right now, they're having a good time. They're like, yep, that's for me, that's for me. Right? But here's the thing. I'm having fun with it, but the reality is about ones is that they're really good people. All right? They're really good people. The reality with ones is that they have really instinctual minds. They like to follow their own instinct. They like to work hard using their own mind. I always say regularly to people that always ask me to do readings from whatever, I always say, look, when they come up with a 1, they're like, oh, does it mean I have a big ego? And this is the way that I like to think of ego. If there's no ego, there is no reflection. Ego is really a reflection of self. You have to have a separation of self from the mass. That is technically what ego is. And so ego is super important. And the reason why it's so important is because if there was no 1, there would be no individual. If there's no individual, we will all just be a part of the group. So 1 in that ego gives us the individualism. It gives us the individuality, to be separate from the whole group. It is the grain of rice in the whole bowl of rice. It is the grain of salt in the whole package of salt or sugar, or whatever other analogy you want to think about it, right? It allows self to be separate from the group so you can maintain identity. So ones will always have a really strong identity, or on the other side, they might be challenged with their identity. They might be, a lot of times they could be really, really confident, but the other part of it is in that identity and being number 1 and not sure if they're number 1, they could also sometimes not be as strong on that side as well. So with these numbers, it's a beautiful balance. It's like, it's a beautiful balance. So on one side you're strong, the other side you don't flex, right? So there's always a balance with everything with numerology, right? So there's no real good number or real bad number. All numbers just are, and number 1 is no exception. So although you strive to be number 1, although you want to be number 1, although you could become number 1, like Tiger Woods is number 1, or Eminem was number 1, like those two guys as well, you can also see how you will struggle in that number 1 place as well. And what does that mean? Well, Tiger Woods had a divorce, extramarital affairs, and everything else. Well, he got caught up, but he was number 1 from 20 years old, big breaking all kinds of records and everything else. But again, ups and downs, because that 1, it'll be strong, but sometimes it'll get knocked over. Life will knock it over, and it has to stand back up again, like anything else, right? This is part of what nature provides. Other thing with number 1s is that they usually make good owners of companies, self-employed people. They usually make good independent contractors. Anything where they can be independent and innovative. So number 1s are also numbers of innovation. They can create new things like Steve Jobs did, right? They can step outside of the box, see outside of the box. But by doing so and by creating, again, one or two things will happen. If you are on the positive side of the energy, that one, you'll be willing to create and burst everything through and yeah, let's go for it. And then if you on the not so strong side of that, might be like, I don't know if I could do it. And deep inside, you face those challenges of self-doubt, self-concern, self-fear, self-defeat. And those are challenges that, number one, can also face. Because that one, it is always causing the mind to think, because there's so much mental and so much powerful energy is just turning and twining. And sometimes you sleep thinking, wake up with a plan, got it worked out, and everything all within your mind. All right. So this is part of what that life path number one will bring to you. But on the opposite side of that, because you have so much energy, ones tend to need to find or benefit from some physical activity or tangible activity where they can burn some of that energy up. Otherwise, they get stuck in that energy, and it can manifest on the negative side in terms of addictions to slow that energy down. And for ones, typically alcohol is a strong one. But it could turn into drug addiction, sex addiction, food addiction, control addiction, any kind of addiction. And what it's really looking to do is looking to take some of that energy that is everywhere, so much of it, and take it and pull it out to give you some thinking space, right? And that is what happens with ones when they don't feel like they're in the most positive end of their energy. They might get addicted because the energy is so much going on. And they're like, So you are the box in the ring. You are not the ballet dancer. What I mean by that, your path is a little bit tougher. Like if you're training to be a boxer, like you're going to take some punches, right? You're going to take some punches from time to time, right? But if you're training to be, the best dancer or the best artistic director, it's going to be tough as well, but you're not going to take as many punches or physical punches. So ones can expect to find themselves in challenge situations, because the only way to become number one at anything is to be challenged by it, and then take all the energy you have and exceed and excel with it. So number ones, exceed, excel, be independent, but at the same point in time, don't be intolerable, and learn that although that you are the king in the castle, and that although that you are the sun that lights up the planetary system, if there's no planets, no sun. The sun is still there, but how does the sun reflect? There's nothing to reflect if there's no planets. So the planets give more significance to the sun, although the sun will burn whether they're there or not. And that's sometimes the attitude of a number one. Oh, well, I don't care. I'll just keep going because I can do it my own, right? Same thing. A king or a queen is only as good as the kingdom and is only as happy as their subjects. So take that into consideration, number ones. You are here for an amazing purpose, and it is to lead, it is to create, it is to be innovative. And so I will look forward to bringing some more information. This is life path number one, and you have truly an amazing life path. You've been all the way to 10, which is 1 and a 0, and so you're really developed soul that can bring a lot of benefit to this world. This is Jamal Lewis with Whyou Guru TV SPQ. All right, peace.